Hey yo, I think I'm a little bit earlier than I said I was going to be on this one, but fuck it. So, decided I'm going to go back to doing the occasional live stream just from the Badger Facebook page, and then after the fact, when it's all said and done, I'll upload these onto YouTube, just because YouTube's got all those restrictions where it won't let me, well, it won't let you guys come over. I heard from a couple of people they tried to get in on the signing and numbering video for issue 2, and that for like whatever reason it just wasn't letting folks. So we're gonna go back to Facebook. And you guys are gonna see me spinning the page a lot more than I used to too. The last couple of pages I did off camera. Hey, Joe's in. Nice to see you as always, Joe. Those who haven't seen him yet, Joe, my buddy Joe Corrales here in the comments, he does his own series called Mary Selinsky and the Wonder Kitty. But a couple of millennial female news reporters that end up with superpowers. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but I think Joe's on like the 4th issue of his story right now. The last couple of pages I did, I inked off camera, and I just was a lot happier with the result, being able to maneuver the page and get these strokes I want out of the brush and out of the pens. So I'm not going to restrict myself to trying to keep the whole thing upright as much. 4th issue. By the way, it was good to see you and Trish Ellis meet up. Yeah, a friend Trish Ellis lives in Bathurst. She just came down to visit and pick up some signed copies of Captain Canuck from when I went to go meet Richard Comley at a local comic book shop. Shoot, I got too much ink on there. Why, hello, Trish. Long time no see. We may have just been talking about you. Honestly, no. I like the brush in certain circumstances. It can do things that the pen definitely can't. I did have that cartridge Japanese brush pen that I got from what's the name of that place? Endeavors, that I was using, but I killed what was in the cartridge and I haven't replaced it yet. I don't mind the brush. The brush can, the brush is definitely capable of some other stuff. I don't know what you're talking about in my life. Oh. I might come back with the pen just to do the inside of the mouth. Let's see. I don't think I'm going to do too much. I don't think I'm going to do too much brush stuff on that one. So this is page 3 of Badger 3 that I'm working on right now. Badger 3 is probably not going to be completed until sometime early next year, would be my guess. Right now I am digitally coloring Ken Bailey's Not a Chance, his collaboration with Kurt Wilken. Joe, you just got a hand in everything, don't you? No, that's actually great to see. More of Ken Bailey, because I know I really liked his collaboration that he did with you for The Cat's Meow. Alright. Enjoy your evening, Trish. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, Joe, about that especially like all the creators that we see out there, and like different Facebook groups and just independent comics in general. It's nice to see a lot of them putting it on paper and building up this collection of artifacts. Sit around, like I like what you said the other day about how all these like web comics and stuff like that, it's, you know, like when MySpace went down and they lost all that data, it's Yeah, you're not going to be able to find a Facebook post in a trunk in somebody's attic in 30 years. It's really, I like that sentiment a lot. No, I missed a couple of comments there. I was super focused. Right here. Imagine, Joe says, yeah, imagine some kid finding Mary Selinsky and the Wonder Kitty, the Mighty Energy Girl, and Badger in some trunk. Yeah, it's kind of the dream. That's kind of the dream, but someday when we're long gone, someone's still going to be finding this stuff. get the one too. Ooh, where do we want to start with this? Got all kinds of stuff going on in this panel. Hello from Canada, Mika. Keep painting. Don't let me distract you. She's freaking out. Why? An unexpected voice from the north. Okay, so that Spurs arm comes through there. Just gonna pretend I don't have to remind myself what I drew. I'm just gonna kind of freehand some weird gross stuff in here. That's where his arm got ripped off, and I didn't really add a lot of detail to it in my pencil. There's some messy bits. That'll sell it. That'll sell it. The all too sensitive smoke alarm. Which I'm not panicking about because I know Kristen's doing some work downstairs with the oven for Evil Cat Creations. If you haven't been on one of these live streams before, and I used to do this all the time on Facebook, that's what that mechanical sound in the background is as well. That's Evil Cat Creations running one Ender 3 and one Ender 5 3D printer behind me. We share an office space. Hello, Christina. Yeah, it's crazy sensitive. Oh, hey, Dano. It's nice to be able to talk to everybody again. I did that last live stream that was sign and numbering for the launch of issue 2, and I put it on YouTube, but I guess YouTube had all those it's just got a bunch of like privacy and security restrictions. It makes live streaming really hard unless you already have like hundreds of thousands of followers. You still on camera? Oh yeah, we're still on camera. switch back to that. I think it's a 513. That's slightly wider nib pen that I've been using. Ooh, a school comic club. Christina is somewhat recently the sponsor of a school comic club. Now, is this a club for collectors, people that are just interested in that style of media, or is it actually like comic book creators, I don't know, farm, I guess? Can't think of what you would call it. Awesome. That is awesome. So there's a comic book creator club in, you say it was Fremont, Texas? Is that where, that's where you teach out of, eh, Joe? Do you teach at a Fremont, or? I assume you're talking about a club that's at your school. I'm making a whole bunch of assumptions. Alice, Texas, okay. Hey, I just scrolled back and realized Zach Whitmore is in here. Thanks for joining us, Zachary. Thanks as always for your support, Zach. Those of you guys who don't know, in case for whatever reason I haven't brought it up, I'm sure I have, but if you haven't heard me bring it up, Zach Whitmore actually runs his own animation studio, Magnificent Kaboom Cartoons, and he's had segments aired on Netflix, and I think something that had something to do with Jeff Bridges. I can't cite your entire IMDb, Zach, but if anyone cares to pry, feel free to talk about yourself in the comments. I'm pretty sure he said it was Jeff Bridges. Watching you do your thing, I realize how impatient I would be at such an art form. Honestly, I think I kind of come off as a little impatient when it comes to this stuff. That's part of why my art style developed into such a oversimplified, like Matt Groening-esque, like that's essentially that's the reason why I'm a cartoonist and not an oil painter. If I had the patience, because I am honestly a firm believer that anybody can draw anything. The only question is how damn long it takes. If you had your whole lifetime, I'm sure that you could make a magnificent oil painting. Anybody could. But ultimately, that's what it comes down to, is patience. Oh, Christina has her own project. I remember you mentioning that she was relatively well known. I shouldn't talk about her like she's not here. You can just talk to Christina. She's right there. I can see her little icon. But Joe told me that you were relatively known in the cosplay community, but I don't think I'd ever heard anybody mention that you were also a comic creator. Or oh, I see. We're just being pushy. Well, I can say this from experience, Christina. When it comes to creative endeavor, I used to animate. That's kind of how I got my start into doing this sort of thing. I was animating my own web series called M and Court for about 4 years, and just hitting brick wall and brick wall. Like I don't know, I couldn't get traction. The marketing wasn't sticking. I just couldn't get an audience for it. for one reason or another. And then I started doing this from a push that came from my fiance, Kristen Wong. She basically told me to start drawing again, and it turned into Badger. And the support that I've gotten from the indie comic book community, especially out of the gate, from Joe as well as Sean McMillan, it's just, I've never come across such a approachable and supportive collective just community of artisans. Because I'll tell you right now, in my experience, the majority of people who work in animation don't fit that bill. It's a harsh, competitive world, but this seems to be its own beast, and I just love it. It's very accessible, a very, very accessible community, very accessible medium. All you need is a pen and a piece of paper. That's it. Oh, this one's a big one. This one's a big one. A music video for Misfortunes. I do the animation. Oh, good gracious. I'll have to put that down as a soft maybe. I'll show you later, Dan. I did do a music video once for the Riptides, pop punk group out of Ontario, and it takes some time for sure. I think the Riptides video I did, I got it done in like 6 weeks, but I was putting anywhere from 4 to maybe sometimes 6 hours a night into it. What's that called? Alright, I was just fed a sip of the new Pepsi product. Oh, it's Coca-Cola? The Coca-Cola Dream World, and it tastes a heck of a lot like gummy bears, if anyone was wondering. Christina says, I have a good little group of artists. One student already has a character that he's been drawing for months. He has so many different angles and facial expressions. He just needs a story now. That's awesome. It's great when you get all that stuff set in your head before you get out. Just hoping that turns into something amazing. And if I know Joe the way I know Joe, if you get anything to stick with any of these kids, I'm sure he'll find some small anthology publishers that are willing to run this stuff. Dan O'Brien saying I'd want to do a Monty Python type quirky animation. Oh yeah. That like pretty much just still images, and then they call that tweening now. I don't know what they would have called it at the time, where they just take a still image and like move it instead of having to redraw and perspective, all that. Yeah, that probably wouldn't be so bad, as long as if you didn't have to like keyframe it all the time and redraw everything 1,000 times, it probably wouldn't be too terrible. And don't get me wrong, I love animating. It's just there's a lot of work, and I didn't see much of a return as far as people connecting with it. So I'd love to do it again. Time consuming. Yep, always. I got the Ender 3 and the Ender 5 next to me, just making people their stuff. Yeah. It's Kristen's business. An Evil Cat Creation. She makes hair accessories and little decorative gadgets and gifts. Action figures are pretty complex. Kind of thought about it and tried some like larger modeled stuff and more complex stuff, but there's just so many factors involved in it, and like the length of the print is a big part of it too. Like if something takes a really long time for it to get done, you're basically running a higher risk that there's going to be some sort of a problem in the production of it, and you're just risking wasting a lot of time. Kind of out of my element on that one though, so I'm gonna shut up before I say something super wrong. Just know it has been considered. I know Zach Whitmore has some experience working with either designing or fabrication of action figures. I'm not sure if he's still in. Not sure if he's still in here with us or not, but he might be able to shed some light. So I remember, Joe, you were potentially interested in having action figures done before. You and I had discussed it. Non-posable mini statues. I don't know, maybe. Like, I've had a couple... We have had a couple of little, like, figurines and models that were done up 38 mil scale for Dungeons and Dragons. Thing is, when you get small stuff like that, you can kind of see the layer lines in the plastic, and if you're like us and you end up painting your figurines, then it just kind of... It's passable. It works. It works to be able to, be able to say, okay, well, there's the king on like a tabletop game, but it's definitely not the kind of thing you'd want to like put in a display case and show off. Just stuff that's really, really, really small and detailed. Larger stuff you can't even really tell. It's not that big of a deal. I think the layer height's set to like 0.02 millimeter, probably even lower than that. But again, I'm walking way off base here. I'm talking about stuff I do not know very much about. Okay, you guys cast them. That's kind of what I thought. Do you guys mass manufacture those, Zach, or is that just like a made-to-order dealio? Since I got you. I mean, you said you made a mold, so I'm sure you at least plan on doing it more than once. Ah, okay. Oh, that's cool. I was just about to ask that. I was gonna say like $200, or what'd you say, 300? I should go back because I'm probably gonna upload this to YouTube later, so I gotta read the whole comment out. Joe. There's an outfit in the Philippines who offered to make Mari and Nico for $300 a piece. Yeah, and then Joe follows up by saying less if I gave them permission to make and sell them. That was actually part of what I was going to ask. I'm like, with $300, if that's like, so that's including a setup fee, I take it, and then if you were to continue to order more of those, I presume the price would go down? Like, because $300, that sounds like a lot, but if it's a $300 setup fee and then, you know, you order hundreds of them and the price drops down to like, nah, I guess I can't think of any way that's not a lot. It sounds expensive. There's got to be an easier way. Well, it sounds like Zach's on something. $200 just for the digital file. Set up, painted, and shipped into $200 just for the. It was $200 for you to get them to model it. I see. That sounds kind of reasonable, not gonna lie. 3D modeling is tedious. Alright, spin this on you guys, get these little ear details. Yeah, but even if you're like, if you're pouring into a mold cast, you still need to cast something, right? So the idea would be essentially they would like 3D print something once and then do a cast of that, or you're like, I don't know, carve it out of wood. Like, where does the original come from? Like in Joe's instance, where he was talking about getting Mari Solinsky and the Wonder Kitty figurines. I didn't follow up mostly because of lack of knowledge of customs and, well, same issues we have with Canada. Yeah, importation fees, man. They burn you. They burn you. Especially if you're bulk ordering stuff. Oof. We're just in here, I'm doodling, and we're discussing business type stuff. It's almost like the group chat. The group chat just spilled over into the live stream. The same sort of shit Joe and I talk about all the time. Oh, I'm losing tabs on the chat. You guys are talking about mold casting and kit bashing. All right, I'll just let you keep going. I'll be over here doodling. Yeah, and we're gonna totally pretend that I meant to do that the whole time. Keep talking. I think something went wonky online. I get kicked off. The guy riding the giant turtle. I didn't mean for that to come off as catty. Like, if you guys can talk about whatever. I'm supposed to be drawing, not paying attention to you. The guy with the giant turtle was actually a suggestion from a friend of mine named Nick. And I got him to kind of proof screen my script for Badger 3, and the only bit of feedback he gave me was that there should be one that rides a giant turtle. So I stole it, and I told him that I was going to give him a special mention in the opening credits of Badger 3. Where is it now? I got him here in my sketchbook somewhere. Yeah, it gets better. Hold on. The giant turtle makes a comeback later. Yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff. Uh-oh. Did I break the foam out? There, you guys, check out the floor of the studio. Charlie, get away from my sketchbook. The cat. Getting interrupted by the cat. No, this is absolutely laminate. They're not wooden slats. It's 100% laminate, I promise you. Oh shit, I got something on the tip of my pen too. No, we're good. We're good. Does Charlie still steal your chair, says Dan. Not so much anymore. I usually push the chair in now. Since it's cooled off, he mostly hangs out in the other room. I don't think he's a huge fan of the noise that come off the 3D printers. He doesn't spend a whole heck of a lot of time in here. He did when it was hotter, but... Look how excited this little guy right here is to go and pounce Mush. All this commotion over, it's like a shoelace or a piece of scrap cloth they pulled off the bag. It's just a piece of string. This whole fiasco, this whole introductory fiasco to Badger 3 is just a bunch of goblins fighting over a piece of string. And I love it. In the next page, we'll get back to the party. We'll get back to Purple Guy and Badger and Katori. Yeah, that's very much the nobody else fucking move. It's very much the supervisor who's exhausted of being in a situation. He's just wondering how things escalated to this point. I thought it was relatable. He made it pretty clear on the first page. There's all kinds of stuff in this woods that just loves eating goblins. And these guys still gotta sit here and fight over a shoelace. The Druid Secret opening. It has been a while. I know, like, you've been keeping me pretty updated on how the Druid Secret's coming along. And I don't know if I can say with certainty if I remember exactly how it opens. We'll go over it. I'm sure we'll go over it later. I'd slow down on that to get issue 3 out. The Heist is next. Heist is the next print. Yeah, because I know, like, I've got one. Joe sent me one in the mail recently. I'm currently waiting on it, and I think that was 3, but I get so many updates from you about what you're working on in different sequence, and I know now that the school year's taken off again, I imagine that I'm going to be publishing in 2 or 3 different directions at the same time. It's always hard to keep track. But I got so far, I got The Cat's Meow, that's in print, the one that you did with Ken Bailey. And then I've got Origins. And then the second one is The Prisoner Agenda. That's the other one. So yeah, that puts you on the Heist, which is technically number 3. Alright, I got it all squared away in my brain for now. In 2 parts, The Druid Secret, in 3 parts, and then Lost on the Trap Planet. The Badger crossover. I'm so excited for the Badger crossover. And hope to, someday in the near future, near-ish future, be able to return the favor. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get all this done in one shot tonight, you guys. Okay, at least I already did that Gourd Night way over on the other side. Just thinking about it, and I was like, what else do I have that I need to ink on this page? Or this panel, I guess. I still got all kinds of stuff to ink on this page. I think I might just finish up this little dude here, and then stop the stream, take a break. I'm going to finish this little turtle though. I'm going to do that right now. Get all those little shell details. Alright, I got all kinds of stuff going on in Yinmon. It's just a question of when to present it and how to present it. Like, there's stuff. There are little hints to things that are coming down the pipe that have been brought up in dialogue in the first couple issues. Some things that have been gleaned, and some things that have just been straight up mentioned. Badger, Katori, and Purple Guy are working their way toward Capital City, and it's lightly alluded to at the beginning of Badger 2 that the capital of Ginmon is a pedocracy, and it's run by a child, which causes all sorts of chaos and pretty much explains the lawlessness of the areas outside, directly outside of the capital. They pretty much only focus their resources towards petty squabbles inside the city walls, but I'd much rather show you how all that works than sit here and explain it all. Oh, what else we got going on? We got some bushes, we got some trees, we got some footprints. I don't want to rush through the rest of this, so I think I'm going to hang it up. Thanks for joining us, Zach, and thanks for your insight on the toy industry and the casting and all that manufacturing stuff. Thanks you guys for joining me this evening. I'm going to take this video, more than likely. I'll edit it lightly and upload it over to the YouTube channel. I think that's how I'm going to end up using the YouTube channel for the next little bit. And if anybody doesn't already have a copy of Badger 2, I have two signed and numbered copies from the first print run. That's $25. So just let me know, and we can work that out. I can mail those out. It costs about $5 to mail it anywhere in the US, so $30 you can have one of the first 25 for that print run. And the studio tour, alright, I'll give it to you. I'll stop my sales pitch. Alright, boom, there's a poster that Sean McMillan made for me. There's a bunch of my stuff because I'm an artist. There's that cover of Awful Thoughts 3 that I did, the original ink. Here's Evil Cat Creations with the two 3D printers. And this is pretty much my whole studio, and then this is Kristen's side of the office. But mind you, she does work here full time, so. But yeah, that's it. That's the studio. That's the page I'm working on. Thanks for coming to hang out, guys. And you all have a pleasant evening.